these are functions now. These Excel functions, which is the if, the ifs, the count if, the sum if, and all that. Right? We even have the lookup. That one's the lookup functions. So we're going to start with if. Now, the if says it is used to test, or let's just, I don't need to read all these things because okay, I've talked about the equals to sign. So I'll just go straight to this. So the if, it's used to test something or get one result if true and another if false, which means, or which said it's used to set a condition. And that condition is setting, one of it must be true and the other should be false. Like something like a promotion. If you are to set, if you are to use if to set a promotion, now the condition you are setting is that either person is being promoted or the person is being failed or being not promoted, right? So you can use if gives you room to actually make one, set a condition that one has to be true and the other has to be false. It could be yes or no, it could be true or false, it could be green and black, it could be anything, depending on what you set it and depending on what you want to return. So it mustn't be yes or no, or it mustn't return true or false. It mustn't return black and white. Now you can set a condition that okay, I want to use this thing to return a promotion, which is um promoted or not promoted. You can be like, okay, I want to use this condition to return something, which is if those people that passed should give me a green and those people that failed should give me a red. You can actually use this function to do something like, okay, those people in class A should return black. Those in class D should return yellow or anything, right? So it is used to set a condition where one had to be met, and that one that had to be is seen as true, and the other one that did not meet up the condition should be seen as false. Okay. So we are going to use this as our example. Now, I've already had something like this. Initially, you're supposed to do this yourself, but we can't do it because you're in different places. So what we're going to do now is the gradings. You're going to fill in these gradings, you're going to fill the promotion, you're going to fill in the gifts using a function. But we'll be taking the function one by one. And the first function will be making use with if. The reason of using if is that if is going to give us a room to set our condition. And coming to this promotion column, that is column K, we need two things to be returned. It's either the person is being promoted or the person is being repeated or not promoted. So one has to be true, while the other has to be false, right? So I'm going to set a condition using the if right now. If. Now, see what if says. Check whether a condition is met and return one value if true and the other value is false. So we're going to use this thing to set a condition now. And our logical test, you see something like logical test. What this logical test is, what are we going to use and check your condition? What are we going to use and check if what you asked us to check met the condition? Now we're going to make reference to using the total. And how I got this total is using a sum equals to sum. Let me show you. Now, let me wipe this, right? Let me wipe this. So how I was able to get this total is using a sum, a function sum. Reason of using function sum because I want to get the total. And we know that to get the total, you have to sum it, add it up to get your total. So what I'm going to do is that I will drag from here. This is what I want to sum. I'm summing the first, second, third test and exam to give me total of this particular person. So if I click on enter, this is what I'm having, 65. But then instead of repeating the same with others, I'm just coming to this 65. At the extreme, I'll place my cursor and double click. So if I double click, this is what happens. It does all same thing. Because I've already showed it a pattern that I want to sum this. So I've summed it, I've gotten a result. So that result is what I double click to get others too. So coming to this promotion that we are going to work on the box. So equals to sign, is what I'm going to use to call a function to make it active as a function. So equals to if my logical terms is going to be this 65. Now, while doing this, you're going to maintain one cell. Like I said, a cell doesn't look from down to up. It's from up to down. So it's from up to down. So you cannot skip the first cell like this and start working with row 2 or row 3, thinking that your result will include the 65. It doesn't work like that. Rather, you start with the number 1, that is this row 3, this 65, so that a cell can read downwards to others too, not upward. It's read downwards. So if I'm clicking on 65, 65 is going to be my logical terms. It's going to be like what it's going to be my logical test. It's going to be what I'm using for my reference, right? So if I click on 65, I want to click the equals to. Sorry, I'm going to click the greater than or equals to. Now I want to name. Now, because it's promotion, I'm going to use 50. 50 is a pass mark. So I'm going to set it that anybody that scored 50 is going to be promoted. And anybody that scored below 50 will not be promoted. 50, like 50 upwards, from 50 upwards to 100, or 50 to 200, or 50 to whatever is going to be promoted. Then from 49 downwards, it's not going to be promoted. So that's what I want to set it. Now, for me to add, now I've selected this greater than or equals to 50. I'm putting comma. I'm done with my logical test. Now, the next thing I'm going to do now is to set the condition I want it to return, whether it's promoted or not promoted. And for me to do that, I'm going to do a double quote. And this double quote, I'm telling myself, don't see this thing as a text. So see it as part of the function. So I'll type promoted. I'll close it to under double quotes, then a comma. Double quotes, not promoted. Double quotes. Then I'm done, right? I'm done with my command. So this is what I want to do. So people that score from 50 to 100 should be promoted. Then people that did from 49 downward should return not promoted. So this is it.
They give you leave for your former workplace.
You see what happened? This is what we are having.
Okay, I think I want to go check something. I want to go same click with the build, with the teach about the build.
If I come to this place and double click, this is what I'm
With
doing.
the teach people,
If I click on this, this is it. If I click on this, this is it. If I click on this, so that they do a wrong. They don't do like from down to up. Rather, they do from up to down. So I'm using 60. So for it to get all these things, right? For it to get all these things, it was able to use the first command I gave. So first of all, access this 65. It's 65 from 62. It will first accept this first cell and to check if this first cell met the condition. Our condition is 50. We set it as 50. So it will check this. Okay, this particular one met it. It's 60 to be promoted. This one too. It will first again check this one. 271 promoted. Now this one is 44. It will not meet our condition. That means it's not promoted. So what it is looking at is this thing. This is my first write-up here. So it's going to use this first write-up to run all through downward other information to give you a result.
I will go there by phone.
Did you get? Any question here?
No.
You sure you got it? So if I should give you something to work on now, you can actually do that.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering, before the greater than, the L3 there is from I know the L is logical. Okay, then the number 3, the column, right?
That is not it. The L is not logical. The L doesn't mean
that's what I've been wondering. That's the only, that thing that looks like 13 there. That's the only one.
It's not 13. No. Okay, fine. Look at it. Sorry, let me take this. See this. I told you that a column and a row makes up a cell. So that thing is not what did you
Okay,
call it?
I3.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it's I3, not L. What did you call it again? So it's I3. See, it's I3. A point. This is the cell I'm typing on. Do you understand?
Yeah.
This is the cell I'm typing on, and this is the cell I made reference to. So this now, if you look at this place, we're having I3.
Yes.
Now I3 now is representing the 65.
Okay, that's the only one. Yeah.
Okay. Precious, you got any question?
No. Yeah. Good afternoon. I'm Nelson. Yes, I'm not talking with NIT or someone with the
Any question? Sorry, blessing.
It's Precious that is talking. Okay.
Blessing.
It's clear, ma'am. No question. It's clear, ma'am.
All right. So before we end this class, I want to move on to another function called the ifs. Now the ifs, what if does is gives you more room, right? It gives you more room to set your condition. This one has a limited room. It's either one or it's either it's giving you white or black or promoted or not promoted or yes or no, right? But this one, it's giving you a larger room. It's giving you a larger room to put more options. And these options, all of them are true, right? All of them are true. It's no longer one have to be true. Even if it is false, it's still going to return because in your cell, in your condition, you set it that everything there should return. Now we want to look at this gift column. This is our gift. We assume that okay, this is end of the year party or end of the term that we have to give our gifts to students. And we are giving our gift to students based on whether they are promoted or not promoted, or based on their scores in the exam. Okay. So if I come to this place, I want to type equals to if. Now I'm not sure you what if does. Let me go to our notes. So this is what if does. Test multiple conditions. Now, if condition one will value this, that. Do you understand? This one say multiple conditions. The other one, we don't have multiple conditions. We just have condition, then value if true and value if false. So I'm going to show here. All right, we're going to use equals ifs. Equals ifs. So I'm also going to use this thing as a reference. This particular. I'll keep on hammering on this till I'm done with my commands in this ifs. I'll keep on hammering on this till I'm done with my conditions. Now I'm going to say this side. If this is greater than, now let's use because we're going to set it that all of them, all these gifts contain. So we want to say if this is greater than or equals to, let's use 80. Let's use 80. It should give us cap. Now we are doing this based on their ratings, right? Their total. Now, if I'll come back again and click on this particular cell, if this is greater than or equals to, let's say 70, comma, give us quick. Comma, coming back again, hit on this again. If this is greater than or equals to, let's say 50, right? Give us pop. Then if this is greater than or equals to, let's say with this 50, let's say 40, should give us spoon. So if, let me make this. All right, so if okay, we're using 40, so we're going to do if this if this is greater than or equals to, we want to set it as 0 now, right? I want to set it as 0. So if this is greater than or equals to 0, returns pen. I'm not even supposed to give anybody that is giving 0 anything, right? But I'm just going to
So
do it.
they only use greater than, or you can also use less than for
You
this
can actually
function.
use less than 2.
Okay.
But sometimes more to avoid more being confused, you just set it as greater than.
Okay.
So I'm done now. So if I click my enter, this is what I have. So it was able to return cup for me because this particular person did not meet my first condition. My first condition said 70. So, but it met the one of cup 50. Inside 50, we have 65. So it returns cup for me. Now, how this thing works is that it will check your, see? So how this thing works is that it will check your commands, and before the next command, it stop. Right? Now, the first command I said, if this particular cell is greater than or equals to 80, give me cap. Now it will check from 80. 80 to 100 is giving me cap. And the other command says 70. So 70 to 79 will give me book. So the other one said 50. So 50 to 69 will give me pop. Now the other one says 40. So 40 to 49 gives me spoon. Then 0 to 49 returns pen for me. Now if you look at 16, 16 has pen. Let me see that I have 0, 7. So it's okay, this one 32, 38, 38. See? So 0 to 49 is giving us pen. So before the next command, the first command, the other command has to stop. Any question? Are we in the same page still? Hello, okay. So before the next command, the other one has to stop. So that's why you're seeing this. That's why it was able to return each of them. Now, if I did not add room for this 0 or room for, if I not add room for, let's say, let me run this thing without adding room for 1. Let me fix it from here. Okay, from here. Let me say equals to greater than or equals to 30. Equals to 30. Enter. Now, see, you see, I'm having 16 as none, which means in my settings, I not include anything that will cover 16. I see the gist now. I not include anything that will cover 16. So that 0 I added was able to cover 16 at the same time contain the rest. So you get, so let me return it as it was 0. No. Let me return it. So if I return this thing back the way it was, enter and double click, you see that it will cover that 16. At the same time, let's try something else. Let's say, let's try a less than here and see what we will have. See what we'll have. You see, we tried a less than, like I said, that sometimes instead of being confused, you should just set it with a greater than. Now, I said anything less than or equals to 0 should give us pen. If you look at this, we don't have anything less than 0. That's why we're having none. 16 still going to give us none. We're having none. Do you understand? So anything less than or greater than 0 should give us pen. So we don't have anything less than 0 or greater, anything less than 0, or we don't even have 0 itself. So that's why we're having none. So back to where we are. And this. I hope we're in the same page. Are we in the same page? Okay. Yeah. So, any question before we call it a day? Any question?
No, I don't have any question.
All right, so
I understood everything you've taught so far.
it's all right, no problem. So, our next class will continue with the counts. Continue the other functions before we start entering other parts of Excel. Okay.
Okay.